The desert wind brushed against my cheeks as I stood before the ruins of Teotihuacan. Towering pyramids rose against the horizon, their stone faces glowing under the morning sun. I, Dr. Aiko, wasn't just looking at history from books this time. With a single breath, the ancient city came alive. My heart raced. This wasn't a museum visit. I had slipped through time itself, back into the city once called the place where the gods were born. Streets stretched endlessly before me, wide and perfectly aligned, like veins feeding the heart of a mighty civilization. I walked down the Avenue of the Dead, hearing footsteps echo beside mine. But they weren't only mine. Around me, the air shimmered. Suddenly, I saw them, merchants carrying baskets of obsidian, priests in elaborate headdresses, and children running with laughter. Teotihuacan was alive again, pulsing with energy. The Pyramid of the Sun loomed above, larger than almost any structure I'd seen in my travels. I craned my neck to see its peak piercing the sky. Locals believed it was a sacred mountain, a place where the gods descended to shape the world. My voice trembled as I whispered to myself, "This isn't just stone. This is power, faith, and the heartbeat of a people who looked to the heavens for meaning." Climbing its steep steps, I felt every stone beneath my boots hum with history. I imagined priests ascending with offerings, flowers, jade, and sometimes even human sacrifices. The air grew heavy as I reached the top. From here, the whole city spread before me, its grid-like design stretching to the horizon. I realized this was more than a city. It was an idea, a cosmic map laid out in stone. The Pyramid of the Moon greeted me at the far end of the avenue, smaller yet no less powerful. It guarded the city like a silent sentinel. From its platform, I saw the rituals unfold. Dancers painted in bright colors, their feathers flashing like fire, their drums pounding like the earth's heartbeat. Teotihuacan wasn't just built for living, it was built for connection to the cosmos, to forces greater than themselves. I closed my eyes and listened. The chants carried on the wind, voices rising to meet the stars. Priests offered prayers for rain, for fertility, for balance. Every ritual tied humanity to the gods. I realized that in this world, daily life was never separated from the sacred. Every step, every harvest, every birth was part of a grand cosmic rhythm. The city itself was a bridge between earth and sky. But beyond the rituals, Teotihuacan was also a hub of power and trade. I wandered into the bustling markets where obsidian blades glimmered like black lightning. Traders brought goods from hundreds of miles away, jade from Guatemala, seashells from the Gulf, cacao beans carried like treasures. The city was not isolated. It was the beating heart of Mesoamerica, a magnet pulling cultures together. The people themselves fascinated me. Unlike other civilizations, no one truly knew who ruled here. There were no images of kings carved into stone, no monuments shouting the name of a single ruler. Instead, Teotihuacan seemed to be led by its priests, its warriors, perhaps even its collective will. It was a mystery, a society that thrived without glorifying one supreme figure. That silence spoke louder than words. I paused at a mural painted in vivid reds and blues. A great feathered serpent slithered across the wall, its scales sparkling with jade. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, god of creation and wisdom. In another scene, a fearsome jaguar deity roared, its mouth dripping flames. These weren't just paintings, they were portals, telling me what words alone could never say, that Teotihuacan was a city of gods, both nurturing and terrifying. Night fell and the stars unveiled themselves, one by one, scattering across the sky like ancient jewels. Standing on the Pyramid of the Sun, I realized something breathtaking. The alignment of the city wasn't random. The pyramids pointed to celestial events, solstices, and movements of planets. This wasn't only architecture. It was astronomy, mathematics, and spirituality fused together. Teotihuacan was both temple and telescope. But the beauty of this city hid its shadows. I heard whispers of war, of soldiers marching, obsidian-tipped spears flashing under the moonlight. Smoke rose from distant villages, conquered and pulled into Teotihuacan's expanding grasp. The empire's brilliance was carved with both devotion and violence, a reminder that history is never painted in just one color. In the shadows of the temples, I witnessed something darker. Sacrifices. Prisoners captured in battle were laid on altars, their hearts lifted to the sky. For the Teotihuacanos, this wasn't cruelty, but a cosmic duty. Life was given to sustain life, to keep the sun moving across the heavens. As brutal as it seemed, to them it was balance, a circle unbroken. I shivered, torn between awe and sorrow. Yet, even with its rituals and its empire, Teotihuacan was not eternal. Time itself is the greatest conqueror. I saw cracks forming in its unity, whispers of rebellion, famine, and internal strife. The very city that once glowed with divine purpose began to falter. Its people abandoned the Great Pyramids, fires consumed its temples, and the gods' voices grew silent. Teotihuacan faded into ruin, swallowed by the earth. As the centuries passed, others came. The Aztecs found the ruins and stood in awe. They named it Teotihuacan, the place where the gods were born, believing this was where the universe had been created. To them, the silent pyramids weren't reminders of failure, but sacred monuments, proof that gods had once walked among mortals. Even in death, the city became legend, its spirit refusing to fade. I walked again along the Avenue of the Dead, though now it was empty, only ruins under the moonlight. Yet I no longer saw desolation. I saw resilience. I saw the echo of laughter, the hum of chants, the rhythm of drums. The city may have fallen, but its soul was alive, carried by every stone, every myth, every story whispered through time. Teotihuacan had not died. It had transformed. The cool night air wrapped around me as I touched the ancient stones. They were cold, but beneath that chill was warmth, the warmth of memory. I thought of countless hands that shaped these stones, the lives lived and lost, the dreams carved into the city. Teotihuacan was never just ruins. It was a mirror reflecting humanity's eternal desire to reach for the stars, to build something greater than ourselves. As dawn crept across the horizon, I felt the pull of the present calling me back. The shimmering veil of time began to fade, and the bustling city dissolved into silence once more. The pyramids returned to their ruined state, weathered yet unbroken. I was no longer surrounded by priests and dancers, but by tourists and archaeologists. And yet, in my heart, I had walked with them all. I smiled softly, brushing dust from my jacket. "History isn't dead," I whispered to the rising sun. "It's waiting. It's alive if only we listen." Teotihuacan had shown me that history was not just about dates and ruins. It was about people, their hopes, their fears, their connection to the cosmos. And through them, we could understand ourselves more deeply than we ever imagined. Stepping down from the Pyramid of the Sun, I felt lighter, as though I carried the voices of the past with me. They weren't haunting, they were guiding, reminding me that every stone, every mural, every myth is a piece of our shared humanity. The gods may no longer walk here, but their presence lingers in the whispers of the wind, in the gaze of the stars, in the beating heart of the city.